I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, welcome to Teen Mom Young and Pregnant's review and after show for AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Mackenzie Fain, and today we have season 2, episode 7. It's titled Unconvenient. If you guys don't know why this is titled this, it's so funny. Like, I can't even. I was laughing so hard when I was watching. At first, I'm writing down like the episode title. I'm like, what the hell? Is this even a word? Like, I don't even understand. But apparently it's a word in someone's vocabulary. We'll get to that. All right. This episode was filled with a lot. We'll jump right in. So Ashley, we start with her. She's going on this girls trip to Vegas for her 22nd birthday. She's so young. Like, I can't even believe it. Just because she acts so mature for her age, I just think. She's really excited about it, excited just to relax. She's like, being single is about dating yourself and not, worrying about anybody else. They rent this Airbnb and they get all ready, and it's like her sister and a couple of her friends, and it's just really a nice time, it looks like. And I mean, damn, like the girl looks so hot. So Bar FaceTimes her and he's like mad that her butt cheeks out. He's like, you're not wearing that. Like, no, take that the F off, blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, Bar, like, whatever. So now I think I'm not the only person that was confused by this. Like, why is he FaceTiming her? Why are they you're not single. You are dating him. As much as you want to say you're not dating, you 100% are. Like, this is what you're talking every second. Like, he's FaceTiming you on your birthday weekend when you're supposed to be out with your girlfriends. Like, whatever. So she seems super happy. Doesn't want to talk about Bar like the rest of the night. Doesn't. They go out. They have a good time. Meanwhile, Bar goes car shopping, and at one point he says to the sales rep, he's like, yeah, my fiance has a Volkswagen, so I know they're really good at like how they drive or whatever. And it's just interesting, like, in his mind, he's telling people that he has a fiance. Meanwhile, she's saying that they're not dating and she's dating herself, but she's also talking to him as much as she would if she was dating him. So it just doesn't really pan out in any type of way. So, they FaceTime again when she's in bed and kind of like hungover and recovering from the night before. And he had just bought in the car and she's really proud of him and excited and, whatever. It's like, why are you guys FaceTiming again? Why are you talking again? I don't get it. You're not broken up then. Stop saying you're broken up, Ashley, because you're not. She says she does admit to her sister that talking to Bar this much wasn't part of her plan on the trip, but she's still doing it. So it doesn't, she just always had a flirtatious relationship with him, she said. And if someone does come into her life, that she will want to tell them to tell him to tone it down. But that doesn't really seem like a good plan because it's leading him on in that sense. Bar thinks he's getting his stuff together and they'll get back together, but like she doesn't know if that's what she wants. She doesn't. And it's just sad that she thinks all of this and he's on a completely separate page. So they really need to just come together and figure it out. I really don't think that they're good for each other. Let me know what you guys think. But, until he can get his stuff together, like she said, I just don't see it working out because she's always going to feel some type of way about him and she's always going to be held down or held back. And she's to the point where she doesn't like that or want that. So it's not going to work. So we move on to Breanna. She says her feelings have been all over the place since finding out who Brayson's biological father is. And on top of that, his biological father's girlfriend has been harassing her on all social media platforms. And it's really getting out of hand. But she does want to take him to court to sign, and she wants him to sign his rights away. She wants that to happen so that she can kind of get it done and over with and whatever. So she meets with a lawyer to kind of talk about this, to make sure that the father can't just come in and come and go out of his life whenever he pleases. And the lawyer pretty much says this guy is not legally his guardian because they just did an at-home paternity test. They didn't do one that was, watched or legal in that type of way where it would actually hold up in court or anything like that. Like, this wouldn't matter. They would have to do it all again. So the lawyer pretty much said you can do nothing. You can leave it as it is because you, as of now, have sole primary 100% custody of him. But she doesn't really want to wait because he could try and do something about it down the road. Like, he knows that he's the dad, so maybe in 10 years or 5 years, 10 years, he's like, you know what? No, like, I'm going to go, and his mind changes or whatever. And she just doesn't want that. She thinks that, she should do this and get a lawyer and, take care of the situation now before something happens and it, isn't in her control anymore because they're so unpredictable, his father and the girlfriend. And I do get it. It's just, that's such a hard situation. I do understand, like, wanting consistency in your kid's life, but also, like, if you have the consistency now and the only problem that you have is, like, if in 5 years or something he, like, tries to fight for some type of custody, I mean, it's not really going to look well in court that he hasn't been part of this kid's life for the past, like, 7-8 years. So it's not like they're going to rip him and be like, yo, like, he needs to be with him all the time or half the time. I don't think that would go over very well. But I also don't think it's a bad thing for a dad to want to be a part of his child's life somewhere down the road. So I don't know, it's like a catch-22. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I don't have any experience with anything like this, so it's kind of hard for me to comment on it. I can say my opinions and as much as I'd like and for as long as I'd like to, but I don't have too much of facts or really any knowledge on anyone's feelings that have been through something like this, or maybe I'm missing something. So definitely comment and let me know. Rachel's situation, her dad was supposed to visit. We were supposed to she was supposed to get a visit with him, and she stopped hearing from him like right when he was supposed to be coming around. Now this episode was a lot about Mallory, her sister. It was like Rachel's segment is really like a double whammy. I kind of forgot about Rachel, and I'm like all about Mallory now. Well, I'm not all about Mallory, but this whole thing has been about her, I feel like, this whole season. So Mallory's situation is the same as Rachel's, which is insane. They both don't know who the baby's father is for both of their children. And it could be one of two guys, which is just so crazy. And they know one of the two guys, and they both are pretty sure it's one of them, but could be the other. And they're hoping for the other. So it's just interesting. But with Mallory, she has Lane, who she was with, and he was abusive. And then she has Alex, who I don't really think I got much information on him, but she hopes that it's the father, or Alex is the father. She does want to get a paternity test, unlike Rachel, who doesn't, because she's still with Jacob and she pretty much thinks it's Drew's, so she doesn't really want to go through that. There's like no need for her. Rachel doesn't think that Mallory should sign over Emerson to their mom because, it's like, she's just like, you need your mom. What if our mom did that to us? Why would you put your daughter through that? Like, just let mom take care of her. Don't sign rights over. And, when you're ready, then you have her still. And I don't know. Mallory's excuse was like, well, what if she tries to take her to the doctor and they won't talk to her because she's not the guardian? Well, you could kind of add her to that. I mean, you are the guardian. I'm sure you could talk to the doctors if that's the only thing you're concerned about. I just think she just doesn't want any responsibility of this baby, but it's really sad. So Mallory does end up asking her mom to take Emerson and have her fully responsible for her. And her mom said, of course I would take her any second, but I'm worried that Emerson would go to Lane if he found out that you were signing over rights to me because she thinks that Lane would, be like the next of kin because it's the father. So she's like, no, like I will not do it if that's the case. And it's just like, that's a really sticky situation. It's like, you might as well just keep it how it is and have your mom like act like technically or not technically have custody of her, but just keep the custody in your name, because then it would be a sticky situation. Lane could come in if he is the dad and mess things up really bad. Mallory is getting a paternity test for Emerson, and she takes because Alex is away in the army or military, something like that. She takes Alex's twin sister to the paternity testing place, and they have to wait for the results, but yeah, they're gonna do that. And they kind of talk about Rachel's situation and the fact that she doesn't want to take a paternity test because, and Alex says, and Mallory agree, or Alex's sister says, and Mallory agrees that and she says both of those baby daddies wouldn't be a great fit, like aren't great. So she's literally saying like Jacob and Drew are awful. So like Rachel doesn't want to take the paternity test because why bother? They're both bad choices, even though she's with Jacob. Yeah. So that's such a mess. I really am excited to kind of sift through that and find out who Emerson's dad is, what she ends up doing with the custody. Does Jacob stick around? I know that they talked about on last night's episode, Jacob goes to the living room when Hazley's crying at night, and it's a hard situation. There's a lot going on. Let me know your guys' comments in that too. I mean, if you've dealt with something like that, if you're going through something like that, there's a lot there, and I would love for everybody that wants to continue that conversation or learn more about a situation like that to be able to learn more from someone that's been through it. We talk about Kaya, where Baby Amora is home now. Tiesa, I am such a Tiesa fan. Like, she's so great. She's doing so good with the baby. She's just awesome. Like, I love her. Xavier knows that his son is born, and he told his mom, who is demanding that Kaya let her see him. She threatens to take her to court for grandparent rights. Now, grandparent rights, I Googled this because I had no idea that was even a thing, but grandparent rights are if parents or guardian encourage or at least allow grandparent visits to their grandchild, then no formal process is required. So if it's like, oh yeah, the grandparent can see him, take him, and there's no issue, then that's fine. But when a grandparent or other non-parent approaches the court to obtain visitation rights, they must prove that it is in the child's best interest. That might be a very hard thing to prove, especially in Kaya's case, where why would it be in the best interest of a Baby Amore to go with that grandmother, because she's already threatened, and said she should get an abortion. She's already said very nasty things about the baby and to the mother. So I don't think it's really in the best interest of the baby. It's not good for the baby for him not to be able to have that connection with the other side, but I wouldn't say like in court that it'd probably hold up very well. Although I don't really know like the proof on either of that stuff that Kaya has, maybe texts or anything like that. So Xavier calls Kaya from prison, and he has his mom there with her, and Kaya just gets heated on the couch. His mom's just like, haven't you punished me enough? Like, I want to see the baby. And Kaya just like really snaps, and it's unfortunate because I really do think she's a smart girl, and I have a lot of respect for her, and I do like her, but I don't know what she's going through, and I don't know what she's gone through, and her emotions, like, let's think about it. Her hormones are up the wazoo. She just had a freaking baby 4 days ago, whatever it was. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, you kind of can blame it on that as well. But Tiesa, at the end, like after she's so worked up about Xavion's mom, that phone call, she just says like, I really don't like when Kaya gets this worked up. It was just so sweet. But again, Kaya's mom comes in, the little peacemaker, and just tries to get things to smooth over. But Kaya refuses to go to counseling with his mom and talk it over. And she just like, and when she said this, it really struck me, because at first I'm like, come on, stop being immature. Like she does need to be able to. She really should be able to have this experience with this baby, her first grandchild, or her grandchild. I don't know if it's her first, but she really should have these moments with him. And when he's young, and be a part of that regardless, because it is about the baby. But when Kaya did say, she's like, I just want to focus on my baby. I don't want to deal with all this crap. And I totally got it. Although, it's like Xavion's mom's not just being like, I'm so sorry. Like, please, I promise you, like, I'll keep my shit together, or whatever it is. Like, just say what you got to say so you can say your grandkid. Like, now it's just your ego is getting in the way, and it's just ridiculous. So we move on to Kayla, where Stefan hasn't seen Isaiah in months, and he never explained why he ditched her on their last meetup time. She wanted to meet up with him, go over things, try to rekindle Isaiah and his relationship without Isaiah first, and then like kind of work on it and see where they could go. And he ditched her, just blew her off. So he FaceTimes, and Isaiah could literally care less about him on FaceTime. And he asked Kayla if he can take him for a night. So he's like, I want to be able to take him for a night. And she's like, Stefan, I don't even know where you live. Like, I don't know who you live with. I don't know anything. That's why I wanted to have that meeting. And he says, that timing was just inconvenient. And I'm like, what? I rewound it. I'm like, what did he just say? And then I remembered that it was the title of the show. He's like, Kayla, the timing was inconvenient for me. And it didn't even faze her. I don't know, but such a big laugh with that one. But they're going to meet up, and Stefan is dating a girl that he cheated on Kayla with. And she knows this, and Kayla knows that this girl, Madison, that Stefan's dated, was the one that he cheated on Kayla with, and also threatened to beat Kayla while she was pregnant, and said, I want to like beat you until you have a miscarriage, or something awful like that. So having this all in the back of her mind, she definitely wants to ask about this girl, because if he wants to be around his son. So they meet up at a library, and they meet up, and not at the library, that's after. And he's immediately super defensive. Kayla's willing to give him days, like right off the bat. Or she's like, okay, you can have him like one day we'll start with. And he's like, no, 2. And she's like, okay. She asked if he's still doing counseling. And he says, nope, I don't need it. I am far, far, far from angry. She's like, okay, it seems like you're a little angry. He's like, nope, I'm not. Then she brings up him living with Madison, and he's super defensive, and she just kind of brings up some domestic violence stuff that she knows about, and mentions like his cracked tooth, and he's like, you don't know what this is from, storms off. But they end up meeting at a library. And I mean, I just have to say, you guys, like, kudos to Kayla. She is so strong, so strong. The fact that she sat there and just took all his bull crap, because I would have been like, you sound like an idiot sitting here right now, everything you're saying, like, calm down, take a deep breath, let's have an adult conversation. But no, she kind of just like kept the conversation going. There was like no emotion. She was just very monotone, very neutral about it all, in my opinion. So she takes Isaiah to see Stefan at a library, and at first, like, he's just like, it really sucks. Like, I don't even know how to interact with him, or, like be around him. He's walking, he's talking now. Like, 4 months at that age, in that stage of life, is like so much. They do so much in 4 months. It's insane. So I just can't imagine having to miss out on all that just because you're being an ass. That's unfortunate. Or like infortunate if I was going to like change the way it is. So Kayla just says like, no, he wants you to chase him, like go chase him. And then she's taking pictures of him and Isaiah together. And it was really sweet. And it was a nice like little breakthrough, I think. But I mean, Stefan has a lot of growing up to do. And I do not see that changing anytime soon. We do have a golden star moment today. So Ashley, I think Ashley and Kayla for sure stood out to me the most. They were just both really mature. I mean, Ashley, I did talk about how I don't really think she's broken up with Bar, and she says she is. But, I really do think she's so mature and she just wants to do what's best, and she's navigating through that. So I would definitely say that. On the next episode, Tiesa says that she thinks Xavier still has feelings for Kaya, and then Kaya says, yeah, he might. So that'll be interesting. Stefan takes his girlfriend on a vacation for Valentine's Day, but hasn't paid his $40 a month in child support one time yet. Breanna goes to the hospital with stomach pains, and it looks really bad. So we will see how that all pans out. I'm really excited to see, especially with this whole Stefan thing, interested, and most importantly, Rachel and Mallory and that whole circle of drama and baby daddies and paternity tests. I'm very excited to see how that plays out. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm Mackenzie Fain. You can find me on Instagram at Mackenzie Fain. Subscribe, check out our other YouTube channels for AfterBuzz. We cover a lot of shows. We do everything, you guys. So definitely check us out. And join me next week for another go around at this review and after show for Teen Mom, Young and Pregnant. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.